Okay, so in this tutorial, we are going to make this lovely flower called Lornada. This is one of my original flowers. I started making this back in about 2010, and I fell in love with it, and I just keep kind of tweaking it here and there. So I thought I would share it in my collection of files for now. You guys can make them. There is something that is used in this flower that is not paper, and then, as you can see, there are little tiny stamens in here. I do sell my stamens in my store, but there are a lot of Etsy sellers out there. There's a lot of people, even craft stores, I believe, have like the white stamens that you can use. So, but I am going to be using stamens, but before I get to that part, I'm going to show you how to close it up if you don't have any stamens. Okay, so the file comes with 1, 2, 3 large petals, and then it comes with 2 medium and 2 small. Of course, I'm not going to use all of these petals. I do this because there is a flower, like if you were going to make, there's just different versions of the flowers that you can make. So I give you an extra petals. It's for you to play around with. You don't have to use them. So let's get started, and I'll explain as we build the flower. Okay, so we're going to take our 3 large petals and we're going to set them on top of each other, matching them up like this. Okay, oops. And then I'm going to take it and pinch the sides together like this. And you want a really nice pinch, and there's a reason why we do this. So our petals should look like this right now, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my skewer. You can use a paintbrush also. I'll show you the end of a paintbrush. And I'm going to take my petal and I'm going to hold my paintbrush in my thumb like this. And I'm going to sandwich them between this petal, making sure I'm staying in frame. And I'm going to bend them down. Then I'm going to take this with my pointer finger and I'm going to curl that down. Oops, got stuff on there, sorry. There's stuff on my paintbrush. And I'm going to do that each petal. You're just curling them down. This does take some practice. I don't expect people who are not used to this technique, the curling technique, to get it right away. If it makes you, if you're not used to doing this step, I would recommend just using, just curling one set. It is a little bit, you're just going to pinch them up. It's a little bit easier to get that curl, okay? And we're just going to curl them down like this. Okay, so that's our curl. I'm also going to curl this small one while we're at it so we don't have to stop to do this. So right now for the large one, I'm going to use the 3, 1 medium and 1 small. Of course, there's other ones that are in this. Okay, and I'll show you what to do with those in the wall. All right, so we've got our petals looking like this. Here's our 3 mediums, or 3 large, 1 medium, 1 small. So what we're going to want to do is, and this is just so it makes it easier to place them, I just take my thumb and my palm and I just kind of get them to cup up a little bit. And I'm going to alternate the petals to make sure that the petals are not laying on top of each other, like this. Now for this one, I'm going to kind of make them go in like this. And this just, it's easier to set down in the middle because your middle will start getting smaller as you add the layers. Okay, so this is my 3rd set. Oops. And make sure that if your glue is too hot, that your petals might adjust on you. So just make sure that that doesn't happen. Okay, so we have the base of our flower. Okay, really pretty. You can even stop at this point and put some stamens in the middle. These are kind of small. These are just what I had in. It's probably too small. But you can cut these a little bit larger, or you could just kind of, play around with it. All right, so now we have our medium. I'm going to do the same thing that I did earlier, but I'm going to really just make sure that it has a really nice cup look to it. I want the petals to come up so I can kind of move them in like this. Okay. And then I'm going to take a lot of glue. And this is just the reason why I use a lot of glue is so I have enough time to adjust my petals and I don't have to heat them back up to adjust them. Oops. And you can use a skewer if it's too hot to touch. Okay. So I'm just kind of fluffing this up, making sure that my petals are kind of alternating and it's not looking a little wonky there. All right, so there's my medium that's down in there. Really super cute. Let's see what that black stamen looks like now. Now this doesn't come with this file. I was just showing you that if you didn't want to continue, you could put a center there. Okay, so the small one. Now I really want this to be really closed up. So for the small one, I'm going to put them inside of one another again like this, okay? And I'm going to squeeze this bottom, like they have little sharp points, and I want to just kind of gently squeeze those in. And I'm going to drop it down in there. Okay. So I'm going to take this, my small one. At this point, you can put paper stamens in it, and you could just leave it like this. It'd be super cute. But I'm going to show you a way to close them up and to add stamens. So to add stamens, we're going to curl them like this. Well, both ways you would want to curl them. So this is our last little, and we'll use this when I stem the flower. So I'm going to, again, take my thumb. Now this time, I am going to want, well, okay, yeah. So I'm going to cut down in here. I'm trying to think how I can show you this and show you how to close them up. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut a little bit down in here. And it just kind of loosens those petals up a little bit. And it brings the petals together really tightly, like this, okay? I have a smaller base too. Now, I'm gonna set that down in here like this. Now at this point, you could add your stamens, okay? And now, this, I just take, I don't know, 5, 6 of the stems, these little things like this. I'm going to pull them together like this, or bring them together like this. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, not much. I don't think I even got anything out of there. And then I'm going to fluff them back out. Put some glue. And rest them down in there. And that's how we add the stamens to the flower here. Okay? Super cute. Now, before it dries, if you don't want to do that part, you can go back with your skewer and close it up. And all I'm doing is I'm taking this little petal right here, the ones that are on the inside, and I'm just, oh, sorry guys. I am just going to curl them inward. And that closes the flower. So if you don't want to mess with the stamens, wait, I'm trying to get into the light, here we go. So if you don't want to mess with the stamens, there's the difference. Okay, guys? All right, now to stem this is where this comes in handy. So I'm going to pinch them up, and I'm gonna just lightly curl them on the sides Okay. And I'm going to take either a sharp pair of scissors, like at the little tip right there, or I also have these little sharp tweezers that have a point to them. And we're going to add a hole in the middle like this. We're going to take our 18 gauge wire. This is the gauge that I recommend using for stem flowers so they don't flop over on you. And you're going to take your pliers, take the wire, bend it down like this, and then we're going to close the gap, and then we're going to make our little table. So it kind of makes like a little shepherd hook. We're going to put our wire down in here. And you can skip this part if you don't, if you're not going to stem them. I'm going to blow on it. Make sure that it's done. Okay. And then I'm going to take these and I'm just going to kind of push them down like this. So it almost looks like it's wilting a little bit. In this area right here, I'm going to put lots and lots of glue on. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to turn it around. Making sure everything's even. Get that glue web. My glue gun really webs bad. Okay. And there you have the Lornada flower. This also comes with leaves, as you can see on this one. This is the leaf. You can cut out as many leaves that you want to. I typically, if I'm not going to add these to stems, you know, like tape it onto it or whatever, I'm just going to cut this part off, and then I'm going to cut like a little V. I'm going to add some glue, and I'm actually going to stick this like right like this into the flower. So when it just looks like it's coming out from the side there. And you can curl these, or you can kind of curl them so they'll look like they're growing up onto the flower. Now the reason why that little piece is part of it, and I'm just going to go like right here with it. I think it turned out super cute. Now the piece that comes with this, you can add this to a stem. You can just take it right there, take some tape real quick, and just wrap it onto the stem. Super quick and easy. Make sure that you're pulling the tape as you run it down. So if you're wondering why that is on the leaf, that's why. So you can tape it onto their stem. Okay, guys? So this is the Lornada. I hope you guys have fun making this flower. Here's one with the stamen. Here's one that's closed up. This looks a little bit fuller just because I ended up using a different thing to attach it. But yeah, so I think these are super cute. If you haven't already joined my Facebook group, you can go to Facebook and type in More Paper Than Shoes into the group section, and you'll find us. It's a private group. You will have 4 questions that you will have to answer. There's no right or wrong answers to them. It's just for participation level. Like if you can't fill out the 4 questions, then there's no point in you sign up. But they're really simple. They're not, you know, we don't even really look at your answer. I mean, we do, but it's not something that we judge you by as not, you know, coming into the group. So it is an MPTS only. Like you can't share anything. Like if you've bought something from my shop, my templates, ready to ship items, or anything like that, this is a great place to share it. But it's only for those items. Okay, guys. I will sometimes post different posts for or like once a week or every other week or whatever. I'll post something where you can show off your workstation or show me what you've been working on this week, and that's allowed, where you can share off-topic items that you've been working on that's not MPTS related. But I hope to see you guys there. And if not, then just keep checking me out on my social media. You can find me anywhere at morepaperthanshoes or morepaperthanshoes or morepaperthanshoes.com. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.